Vivek Ramaswamy running for governor of Ohio in 2026 appears to be getting more and more likely by the day, as JD Vance's political team that helped him run for office is now also helping Vivek run for his potential Ohio governor bid. Welcome to today's video. Today I'm breaking down this article by NBC News that goes over the report that JD Vance's political team signs on to run Vivek Ramaswamy's bid for Ohio governor. Vivek is not 100% confirmed he's running for governor yet, but it's like a 99% confidence that Vivek is going to run, and he's laying the groundwork to do so. Vivek Ramaswamy has landed Vice President JD Vance's top political advisors to guide his soon-to-launch bid for governor of Ohio. A source involved in the planning told NBC News. The hirings followed conversations between Vance and Ramaswamy over the last 2 weeks, said this person, who was granted anonymity to share details of private discussions. The hirings also signal that Vance's team, which overlaps in places with President Donald Trump's, is fully behind Ramaswamy, and that Vance himself is comfortable loaning out his advisors' talents to him. Ramaswamy, a biotech entrepreneur who has known Vance since their studies at Yale Law School, last week parted ways with the new Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, just as the federal spending watchdog project was getting off the ground. But a very important quote, expect Vivek to announce his candidacy in mid-February, the source said. For Vance, it's an early flex of the political muscle that helped elevate him first to the Senate in his and Ramaswamy's native Ohio, and most recently to the vice presidency. Andy Surabian and Jay Jabria, both of whom played lead roles in the strategies of those two campaigns, will join Ramaswamy's effort. Jabria, a longtime Republican operative in Ohio, will be the campaign's general consultant. Surabian, a veteran of Trump's earlier races who consulted on Senator Bernie Moreno's successful campaign last year in Ohio, and as a senior political advisor to Donald Trump Jr., will oversee an outside political organization aligned with Ramaswamy. Tony Fabrizio, the pollster from the Vance's 2022 Senate bid, who has worked on Trump's campaigns, is also on board, as is Arthur Schwartz, a close ally to Vance and Trump Jr. Ramaswamy's team also will include veterans from the high command of his 2024 presidential run, Ben Yoho, Michael Biondo, and Chris Grant. Some of those advisors will staff the campaign, while others are expected to work with Surabian at the aligned outside organization, the source involved in the planning said. Ramaswamy is preparing for what could be a crowded and competitive primary in 2026 to replace the term-limited governor Mike DeWine, a Republican. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost last week declared his candidacy for the GOP nomination and has tapped Justin Clark, a veteran of Trump's campaigns, as a general consultant. Another Republican, State Treasurer Robert Sprague, has said he plans to enter the race soon. Although Ramaswamy has cultivated a national profile and ties to Trump, the only time his name appeared on an Ohio ballot was in last year's March primary, by which time he was no longer a candidate for president. His brief work on the DOGE project placed him alongside Elon Musk, of course the billionaire Tesla CEO and owner of X, who has become a close Trump advisor. Quote, he's leaving on good terms with Trump, Elon, and the team, a source familiar with Ramaswamy's thinking told NBC News on Inauguration Day, the day Ramaswamy's departure became public. So a lot going on here, but it sounds like it's all but confirmed. Not only is Vivek going to run for governor in Ohio in 2026, but it sounds like he had his political team of leaders and advisors pretty much all set and ready to go. The 2026 Ohio governor race is going to be open due to Ohio's constitution, which does not allow a third consecutive term to be served, so Republican Governor Mike DeWine is term limited and cannot run for re-election. The declared candidates right now are Heather Hill, Robert Sprague, Dave Yost, and an announcement pending from Vivek Ramaswamy. There's also Frank LaRose, the Secretary of State, who ran for Senate in 2024, has also publicly expressed interest, and there are also two other U.S. representatives considering running, according to Wikipedia, Mike Carey and Warren Davidson. So the article does mention Vivek is going to have to take on at least two and potentially three well-known, high-named Ohio Republicans in the state in a very competitive primary. Vivek Ramaswamy does currently have one endorsement from Senator Rick Scott of Florida, but that's pretty much it on that front. There's no Republican polling done as of yet for a primary. Of these candidates, nationally, it's no doubt Vivek Ramaswamy has the highest name recognition of all the Republicans potentially running. But of course, we're going to have to wait and see, does that translate to a Republican primary in Ohio. It does sound like, though, given he has the backing of Vance's team, not only will Vivek get an endorsement from the Vice President JD Vance eventually down the line, the article also alluded sort of to the fact that maybe an endorsement from President Trump could potentially help in this race with Vivek running for governor. Maybe that would give him an added boost as well. As for the electoral side of things, in the 2024 presidential election on the presidential side, Ohio voted for Donald Trump for president over Kamala Harris by 11 points, 55% to 44%. This would be considered a likely Republican win in my personal rankings, which has anything 5 to 15% margin of victory as likely. We can take a look now also at the Senate race that was up, where we did see the Republican Bernie Moreno defeat Democratic incumbent Senator Sherrod Brown 50% to 46%. The only reason I'm mentioning this is it is expected that if Sherrod Brown does run for an office in 2026, it would likely be the Senate race, which is technically not open, but also technically is a special election due to JD Vance serving as vice president now. So if Brown runs for the governor's race, it could potentially get more competitive. And I wanted to mention Sherrod Brown's name, where it was only a 4-point race back in November. But looking at the governor history in Ohio, we can go to, let's pull up the governor map. I'm still in Senate. Back in 2022, Mike DeWine won the governor's race by 25 points against his Democratic opponent. Back in 2018, he only won the race by 3.7 points. So a wildly different spread between 2018 and 2022. What this means for 2026, obviously it's still very early on, still remains to be seen. But if you want to take an early look at the governor's map, there's going to be about 36 governor's races up in 2026. And I'm not going to fill out all of them today. I'm just going to do the state of Ohio for today's purposes. I think whichever Republican wins a nomination, I think Ohio's likely going to be a likely Republican state, which is going to be within a 5% margin of victory and a 15% margin of victory. And that's pretty much in line with the presidential race. And I don't think it could potentially be lean if the Democrats put up Sherrod Brown, or maybe there's another strong Democratic candidate I'm not aware of. I don't think Tim Ryan would do as well in a governor's race against Vivek that he did against Vance in the Senate race back in 2022, but it is certainly possible. I would have the Vivek Ramaswamy Ohio governor's race starting out as likely Republican right now. You want to make the argument for lean Republican, fine. You want to make it for safe Republican, fine. But I think likely Republican's a good place to start it. So this is very fascinating. As Vivek, the way Vivek left Doge, it certainly left a lot of questions, and there's a very surprising as him and Elon Musk sounded very excited about getting to working on this a few weeks ago and months ago. So it's very intriguing how that all unfolded. But that seems to be, according to the article, all in the past. Now Ramaswamy's eyes are all on the state of Ohio. And again, him getting kind of propped up with the staff of JD Vance's political team, some Vance advisors and some Trump advisors, certainly only helps Vivek's cases in running in this very tough competitive Republican primary. It is worth noting, though, I know of a lot of states, Republicans in Ohio always seem to have very competitive primaries as well. Looking at the 2022 Senate primary, looking at the 2024 Senate primary, it's very interesting. Ohio never seems to have a shortage of Republicans running in its primaries, which, in my opinion, is a good thing. I think the more people running in a primary, usually the healthier the political system for the party in the state. So I think it's certainly a good thing. But just want to mention that. Thought it was interesting. So it's going to be fascinating to watch how this develops. It's going to be competitive primary. It's going to be very close. But I think Vivek, having the help of Vance and potentially Trump, could be something that helps push him over the edge, especially if Trump or Vance were to endorse Vivek closer to the primary. Of course, this is going to be for the 2026 elections, so it's still literally just 2025. We have a long way to go on this, but this is something I'm certainly covering and monitoring going forward, as I believe it's a very fascinating subject matter. That'll do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to give the video a like and to click subscribe, and I hope to see you in a future video. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like, and if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button, and make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned, because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.